following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon from TFNN. Welcome to the October 7th. Fantastic and fabulous Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And, of course, the easiest way to do that, well, it's to always remember that life happens for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Today, you and I, we get to go look at the circumstance of these markets. We're going to go figure out what the bulls and the bears, what the buyers and the sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, but more importantly, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Now is not too soon. 877-927-6648. Of course, internationally, 727-445-1044. Of course, you can send me an email, steve@tfnn.com, and inside the Tiger's Den. Pings are accepted. And I'm not talking golf clubs. I'm just talking, instant messaging, if you will. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Fantastic Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes, and welcome to the show. Right now, we got the Dow trading down 89 points. He's trading on 18,179. S&P off 13 points. Even Steven trading at 2147.77. Sounds like a one-armed bandit to me. NASDAQ Composite off 33 points, trading at 52.73. Now Russell 2000 off about 14. She's trading at 12.32. Gold is up $1. Silver's up 8 pennies. Light sweet crude back 69 cents, trading at 49.75. Leading the charge here to the upside. You've got Everest Real Estate Group up about $5. ICU Med up $4. Universal Holdings up 3. Gap is up 3. Mercado Libre up 3. To the downside, what the heck do I have here? Percentage losers. No, I did have some problems with my system earlier, and I can see that I did a horrible job of restoring the losers to the downside. But now we're restored. Honeywell is the leader in the clubhouse to the downside, off nearly $10, about 8%. PPG Industries off $9. Just trying to see what else I might have screwed up here. Sorry about that. You got Sherwin-Williams. That's painting the town red today, down $8, a little about 3% to the downside. Martin Marietta off $6. Tyson Foods down 6 as well. All right, so where do we get started? Let's take a look at the most important charts of the day, right? Let me give you the elements of first where the market is trading. And I don't mean price-wise, but really taking a look at support and resistance out here. So we're going to establish that. Then we're going to go ahead. I'll go ahead and give you the figures to pay attention to at today's close, so that it'll really give you a piece of information with regard to what the market is then likely to do come Sunday. Sunday, fun day, and maybe even Monday. Now, in looking and scanning through all of my charts to say, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I posted this in the den just before we came on the air to say, this is what the markets are doing. This chart here exemplifies support and resistance for basically each of the equity futures contracts. Now that, and I'll steal this, that's a beautiful thing, because it's so helpful to be able to identify, hey, what are you doing? Because when any of these levels fail, it then provides us with a real glimpse into what the next move is going to be. So if you're watching us on TigerTV, and even if you're not, you can always rewatch this show, right? Shoot, just go over to YouTube and type in Steve Rhodes Trader's Edge. You'll only see 4,000 or 5,000 videos out there. But if we take a look at, of course, the archive on Channel 9, All right, inside TFNN. But if we take a look at the NQ, that's what we're looking at. Up on my screen here, folks, for those of you listening on the radio, we do appreciate you doing that. Oh, your mobile device, that's a version of a radio, if not. Upper panel is the NQ. 5-hour charts are what we're looking at. Upper right-hand panel, 5-hour chart for the ES Mini. Lower left is the 5-hour chart for the Russell 2000. And the Dow is in the lower right-hand column. Now, what you're going to see, let's just start with the NQ. Because if there's any trend here, it's sideways or to the upside. There is certainly no downward trend inside the NQ. There's not anybody that's living, breathing, even if you're not living and you're not breathing, there's not anybody that can tell you that the NASDAQ is anything other than a rising trend or a sideways trend out here. So what is the NASDAQ doing? Well, on the 5-hour chart, really it's trading in between resistance and support. The resistance and support levels, we're looking at white lines on my chart right now, for the NASDAQ, this is why you want to pay attention to it, is 4833.88 if we're going to be exact. And we're going to be exact. So far, the low today, 4834.75. So traded down into support. Never really hit resistance, but pretty darn close out there. Resistance being 48.85 and a little bit of change out here. That point of control, the center of that box, that little dash line, closer just by a tad, by this much. You know how Get Smart used to say, missed it by just this much. Well, the center of the box, he missed it, or this missed it by just this much, just a smidgen. Still a little bit closer to the top, but we're going to go ahead and call this kind of like equal. All right, kind of, this box is not telling us if it's the bulls or the bears that are the ones that are really in control. Not by taking a look at that, but what we do know is that there is a new box. This is the one that's been trading that formed above the prior box. So that says you got to give the edge to the bulls out here inside the NQ. Therefore, 4833.88 is a key level to watch. If you close below that today, and on a 5-hour chart, the 5-hour bar here completes at 2 p.m. So it could occur at 2 p.m. If it does that by the end of the show, you and I will have a clue, and it'll be an important clue that says, okay, you've got further retracement going. Otherwise, price is just bouncing off of support. Now, we go ahead and we put that together with the 30-minute chart out here, and we'll go back to the other 5-hour charts, but we put this together with the 30-minute chart, and we come back to the most recent high. This occurred here at 12:30. It's a beautiful thing when it occurs at 12:30 because that means it's during the show here, the Trader Zed show. So at 12:30 on October the 5th, today is the 7th, so 2 days ago, as you and I were chatting, we're going to go ahead and use that as the high to start doing our, hey, I'm waving to you. That's right, our wave counts to the downside. Just so happens that the flush that we saw, the flush down the old proverbial chart toilet, that took place at 12 noon. And as that was going on, it got to that 7th wave out there. Actually, we didn't know it was a 7th wave until we got to that was at 12 o'clock, at 12:30, when we didn't see a lower close. So that says that, hey, now this is pretty cool because if there is going to be a bounceable bottom, it ought to occur at a 7th wave. You know that better than anybody out there. Now, the other 30-minute charts, they do not replicate this. So this communique, the others did not get the memo. Now, I don't know if it could have been because of the hurricane, and the post office is closed, and that could be it out here. But nobody else got the memo. It's just about the NQ here. And so we're going to be paying attention to that because if you take out wave G, you close below that low, it spells curtains. Now, it doesn't spell curtains. We could figure out where price would then run to next. But at this stage here, what you and I know is price is up against support. I see we're going to go to a break here, but take a look at the ES Mini. Traded right down, the actual low, 21.38. Even, Steve, and of course, that's not too hard to do. You've only got 4 ticks, right? Even, a quarter, 50, 75, and back to even out here. The actual low, 21.38. That is actually strong support. Look at that point of control, the upper right-hand panel of my screen. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back, folks. My name is Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability and host of the Trader's Edge Show, heard daily here at TFNN.com. On Wednesday, October 19th at 5 p.m., I'll be hosting a special 1-hour event, Trading Range Boundary Lines, where I'll teach subscribers how to identify hidden support and resistance levels, the kind that you definitely need to be aware of for your trading and investing. You'll learn how to plot major horizontal support and resistance, how to identify breakouts and breakdowns, and how to project the next price move. These support and resistance levels work for stocks, ETFs, futures contracts, currencies, and these patterns work on every time frame. By signing up for Mastering Probability right now, you get the first month of my newsletter service for only $49, and that includes October 19th's Trading Range Boundary webinar. Plus, if you sign up now, I'll include access to my 3 one-hour workshops, the ultimate trading signals, the ultimate reversal signals, and the long, short line that every trader needs to know. This is an investment you won't regret. For all the details of the upcoming workshop and reserve your seat today, visit the front page of TFNN.com now.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Steve takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. So we're still taking a look at the same 5-hour charts out here, and that's just simply because it's a thing of beauty, and so we like to take a look at charts that provide us with extraordinary information. Now, the ES Mini, that's the upper right-hand panel. We're going to go ahead and explode that, and I mean that in the kindest sense of the word explode. You can see how price came down. We were just talking about that before we went off the air. Was coming down here intraday, got down to the price level of 21.38. Bottom of the box is 21.38, really 0.75 out there. So close enough. Now, the bottom of that box and this point of control, those two are closer together. That's clear that buyers should be able to hold this level of support. If it doesn't hold this level of support, it's a big heads up. It's a big heads up to lower price. You might say, well, where's lower price? Just simply if we did the retracement from low to high out here. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll just simply use that as one of our gauges. Well, it's 21.27. You're at 21.41 right now. I would say probably lower than that would be the message. Probably more like the 2100 level, back to the lows out here from, when was this, September the 11th out here. To me, that's really what the message would be. But we'll have to go take a look at a couple of other elements out here. Now, the reason that I am saying that is not just for any reason. It's because, well, if we go over here, this will give us some additional information. No, that's not where we're going to go. We're going to go right here to the daily contracts. Here's the ES Mini. Where is it? It's right here in front of me. There we go, upper left. It's where it always is. It's always in the upper left-hand corner. Here's what we know. Yesterday, believe it or not, because of all this sideways movement out here, yesterday was actually qualified as a hammer candle. So the low of yesterday is muy importante. That is 21.43. So you close below, and we are trading below that right now, but all we know is we just have a test of a hammer low. We don't have a close below that. But closing below that, closing below the support on that 5-hour chart, that would then say, hey, 21.33, totally game. As we talked about earlier, it's not that much further to the downside. But if you do break that, now we've got two messages that say you take a run on the reading, which gets you into that 21.08 level. I'm not saying that that is what's going to happen just yet. Price needs to communicate to you and I over the course of the next few hours whether or not support is going to hold. But if it doesn't hold, then at least you have the guidelines, you have the roadmap to identify where the ES Mini, where the markets in essence are going to go ahead and trade down to. And so that is a beautiful thing. Now, the last piece of the puzzle, well, there's a couple more pieces, but if we went back to the 5-hour chart, so then I'll give you, the last piece of the puzzle. You can take a look at this nice little wedge pattern here that has formed inside of the Dow. Can't beat that wedge. You've got nice resistance. You have nice support. Price, of course, today, just in the last 5 hours, hitting resistance, hitting support. So and it's trading right now at the support level of its TAS 5-hour time frame, which is 18,108. You're just slightly below that by about 6 or 7 points. So no big deal out there. Now, the beauty here in the Dow is quite frankly, folks, if it busts through the lows out here, because of the beautiful wedge formation is out here, you and I have a measured move. A measured move equals the base of that wedge pattern out here. And it's a doozy. My doozy is a technical term, I've been told. So that doozy, just to give you an idea where that technical term would actually take you to in price, would be it'd be down here about the 17,400 level, and you're at 18, so that's 18.1, so that's a 500-point move. Not overnight or anything like, but that would become your price projection. Do we have that message right now? No. What I'm doing is I'm providing just forecasting the market, just if we were going to forecast a hurricane out there and keep you out of harm's way. That's why I'm providing you with this information. So the last piece of the puzzle, the PS dailies, just don'ts. Well, it is that VIX index out here. So you need to see, in order for the fruition of markets moving lower out here, and perhaps doing it in earnest, you need to see breaks of those support levels. That's clear as a bell, and I don't even know where that clear as a bell came from, but it is clear as a bell. And then, and I didn't mean Isabel, like the name Isabel, I meant clear as a bell, I suppose, as opposed to Isabel. And now I'm just blabbering, which doesn't even make any sense out here. It's because I can't find the tab that I need to find. There it is, right there in front of me. The other element that we have to watch is the 50-day exponential moving average on the VIX index, which is priced at 1375. We're trading at 1388. It's not exactly blowing the doors off when it comes to the VIX index. So you close below 1375 or you close on 1375, pretty good chance the sideways movement and action going into next week remains in place out there. So that is the overall markets. That's where we're at. You've got price trade down into support out here. Should be PDG, pretty darn good, PDGS to be exact, pretty darn good support out there. And that's all that we really need to pay attention to and watch. So 123, I think you and I, we can go take a 3-martini lunch. Do you drink martinis out there? I don't. And I don't actually drink alcohol. Now, of course, when I say that, that's a qualifying statement, because some people would say, well, you drink sake, don't you? And the answer to that would be plenty of it. I don't drink hard liquor alcohol out there. Wine is no problem. Beer is no problem. But that's a whole nother story. In college, I had a little too much one night. So much so that I never wanted to touch any more alcohol like that again in my entire life. That worked. That's how my dad, believe it or not, pretty smart guy, no longer with us, hasn't been with us for a long time, but that's how he assured himself that I would not do as he and his friends do, which was with regard to smoking cigarettes. Back in those days, those of you that are, my age category out there, perhaps your parents or your father or what have you, they smoke like chimney stacks out there. And he took me to a baseball game. I was, 8, 9. Well, he took me to a lot of baseball games, but I don't remember the exact age, but it was like 8 or 9, something like that. Picture you taking your grandkids or your kids out there, and they forced me to smoke a cigarette. And I will tell you, blue in the face, that's an understatement. Sick as a dog, that is an understatement. Do you ever think I wanted to go near another cigarette for the rest of my life? Absolutely, positively not. So if you want to teach your youngins to not do something, then maybe a little of that psychology will work. So, it's an anchor, right? It is an anchor, just like each of us have anchors out here. We have all kinds of anchors. That was a good one. And it worked the same way, although it was a self-fulfilling lesson by drinking way too much alcohol in celebration. And I'm talking about you mixed everything there. Gin, rum, this, that, the other. Oh, it was bad news bears. The unfortunate thing, folks, and I'm sorry I've gotten off track here. We'll go take a look at it. I don't see any emails or anything and no calls. But the unfortunate thing was that that happened to be the weekend of final exams. It was not a pretty weekend, I can assure you of that. Okay, so what else do we want to take a look at? Of course, people want to take a look at, the normal things out here, light sweet crude, gold, silver, bonds, all those types of things. But if you have something that you would like me to take a look at, then, feel free to post it and send me an email. Give me a call. I'd love to hear your voice. You might even have some stories to go along, or different stories to go along with my stories out there. And, life really is all about story. I'm just telling you the story of the markets, right? That's really what I am, a storyteller from the standpoint of interpreting the markets for you and telling you the story of what the markets want to do, right? Trading down into support. Many people who are just really learning about technical analysis, are trying to figure out what's the market communicating to us. Geez, it's trading down. Should we jump on board that train? That's why you listen here at TFNN. Extraordinary individuals: Basil, David, Tom, Larry, Andy, you name it. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's off 41 now. S&P is down 8. We were talking about that seventh wave move in the NQ on the 30-minute time frame out there, and worth paying attention to. So what a nice segue. You're going to wait till you see this segue. Some of you might be saying, well, where are you going with that, Steve? Well, if we take a look at Goldilocks out here and we look at the 5-hour chart, so, we just multiply 30 times 10, you got a 5-hour chart, 300 minutes out here. What you're going to see is price. We talked about this yesterday, right? Price has been moving lower. It actually reestablished itself, much like this Hurricane Matthew may reestablish itself, after it gets up to South Carolina and says, I don't want to pay the tolls anymore. I'm going to turn back, and head back towards the Bahamas out there. So what a trip that will be if, in fact, that's what it's going to do. But in the case of the 5-hour chart here for Goldilocks, it reestablished, moving lower with less relative energy. That's why you've got that little black diagonal line, upper left to lower right at the bottom right portion of my screen. And voila, on this 5-hour time frame, which ends at 2 p.m., we also are in that seventh wave move to the downside. So is it worth paying attention to that low? It'll be really worth paying attention to come Sunday evening if we don't see a lower low inside of Goldilocks. Because, is there a bullish reversal signal? No. But the first signal would be just simply moving lower, doing less relative energy. Yeah, on top of that, you get a seventh wave or potential seventh wave move to the downside. That's a wave you may want to surf out there. So that's what the 5-hour chart is communicating to you and I. If we go down and take a look at a 2-hour chart out here for Goldilocks, we're going to see something similar. Now, we're not going to see wave number 7 to the downside, but we are also going to see that price has been extending itself to the downside, doing it with less energy out there. Do we have a bullish reversal signal? The answer is no. Or do we have the beginnings of one? The answer is we may. Because price is trading right now above Stevie's oscillator on change line on the 2-hour time frame. That's 1249.70. So if there is going to be some type of bullish reversal signal now Sunday, then you already have the first inkling, right? You and I were nothing more than what's that guy's name? Gates from National Treasure. We're nothing more than that character, or other characters like that. Maybe you like Harrison Ford better in Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever movie it might be. Was that the first one? I think Raiders of the Lost Ark was the first one, was it not? Which was the best one. At least I didn't see them all, but I saw some of them, and I think that was the best one out there. And but we're always looking for clues. Like, hey, I'm coming on the air. I am not coming on the air here and spending time with you to waste your time. I'm certainly not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time. And so I have to do some little searching out here, not soul searching to figure out what can I share with you that really will help you to see and understand and identify what the markets are doing and be able to show it to you, because we're all visual. Most of us are visual with regard to learning out here. And so that's why we take that's the beauty of technical analysis. We lay it all right out in front of us. And luckily for you and I, we have thousands of hours together in showing the same. I know it probably gets boring. Does it not get boring to you? Because we take a look at those same patterns over and over again, watch them repeat over and over again. And eventually, over and over again, we kind of say, well, shoot, we really ought to pay attention to that stuff. But could it really be that easy? Could it really be that easy? And how about if the answer is no? How about if the answer is actually yes? It's whatever you decide to decide out there. But the reality is, it is that easy. It is that easy to spot the patterns. Maybe it's not as easy to just simply go ahead and believe it and go ahead and put on the trade out there. But it really is that easy. So guess what Goldilocks is doing? Goldilocks on a couple different time frames is actually going ahead and putting in a bottom signal out here. Now, gold on a daily basis, do we see some type of buy signal out here? The answer is no. Even I can go ahead and tell you that, look, if we just simply go down and take a look at the likely extension of lower price, it's about 11.92. But could you possibly get more oversold than this with regard to gold? The answer is, yeah, you could get more oversold, but it's pretty darn good oversold to suggest that, hey, maybe you got to bounce. Could it be a bottom? Yeah. You remember months ago, and I'm not talking like a month ago. I'm not talking like 2 months ago. I'm talking like months ago, right? Early summer. Now, I suggested to you that what Goldilocks was going to do was form a bottom when? In October. Now, the last time I looked at my phone, it said Today's date is October 7th. So we're certainly in that window from months ago saying gold's going to move down into October. Now, I thought that move down was going to start sooner than it did, but who cares? The point is, we've actually been moving down into October. Now, it's possible we're a little bit too early. It's possible that we're a little bit too early out here. And this little indicator right here, though, it's referred to as the choppiness index. Pretty cool indicator. It doesn't always work. Nothing always works. Well, you and I, we always work, right? But with regard to indicators, they don't always necessarily identify the top or identify the bottom out there. But we do a good job. Together as a team, we're extraordinary. Now, with this indicator, which, by the way, the bottom red line out here gets down to 0.382, you know, and actually the guy who, his name escapes me. I'm having a little brain fart out here. Anyways, he developed this tool, this indicator. If you search for it, you'll be able to find it out here. Lo and behold, I was amazed when eSignal actually had put it as part of their tools out there. I was like, wow, these guys are really on top of things out here. When the indicator gets down below the 0.382 level, that is a signal that a trend, doesn't tell us whichever trend the market is going in, is about to end. Now, the real key here is that you got to see it turn back up. You got to see it turn back up and get back above the 0.382 level. But we know we're in that phase here, that trend-ending phase here. Is it today? Is it tomorrow? It can't be tomorrow, but could it be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Yeah, you know, could it be 1170? Yeah, it could even be, or 1190. Yeah, it actually could be. But this is why we're putting the pieces of this puzzle together out here. You can't go back to, because nobody else that I know of, I'm sure there was somebody. It's just I said that I know of was saying back in May or June or even March could have been. We'd have to really go back and look at archives that gold was going to make a bottom, a significant bottom, a serious bottom in October. And lo and behold, we're in October. And why October? Because it's a seasonal cycle. It is a typical year and a month, 13 and a half month seasonal cycle as to what takes place in gold. And so we're really in that time frame. So let's keep looking what's Harrison Ford's character, Raiders of the Lost Ark? What's that guy's name? What is that name? I should know that. And I probably should know, it's not Bill Gates, but forget the Gates character's name out there. But we should know, or maybe it's it's not Jack Sparrow, it's a Jack Sparrow. Indiana Jones. Thank you, Duffy. God, talk about, somebody in a quiz show would say, how do you not know that? I didn't recall it off the top of my head. Okay, so that's with regard to gold out there. Keep your eyes open. Hey, with regard to light sweet crude, let's go see what light sweet crude is doing right here. You got a little bit of stall out here. You're back underneath that $50. That's that B point of a potential A to B equals C to the upside. Here's what we know right now. Light sweet crude has just been testing a resistance level that it broke out of. So until it closes below 49.75, it's still up to 52.29. We'll be right back, folks.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A share bull and bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. TFNN TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's off 5. S&P is also off 5. NASDAQ Composite down 14. We're going to go out to California and speak with Brent. Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Steve. How are you faring back there?
Doing very well. We're lucky down here in the southeast portion of the state of Florida. We've all dodged a bullet. I'm referring from Miami up to about Vero Beach. That takes care of the southeastern portion of the seaboard. Everybody has fared well. Very little beach erosion. But that Hurricane Matthew is pummeling Daytona Beach on up towards and it hit really in that Daytona Beach at 1 o'clock was at high tide. So that is not a good thing to have a, I don't know if it's class 4 or 5 category storm basically along the coastline at high tide. So they are probably not going to fare as well as all of us in the south. So, but they're still not going to really take a direct hit with a crossing over land. So, so that's pretty good. But in any event, thanks for asking. Now, I know you wanted to take a look at Noble Corp, and I remember you called and timed this trade really well. Ticker symbol, folks, is NE. And are you still? And my recollection was you're looking to hold on to this for as long as you can. Are you still in that trade?
I am. I just wanted to revisit it. The one thing I'm encouraged by the days that it's pulled back. Even today, for instance, it seems like lighter volume, and the days when it's going up, it has the greater volume. So,
yeah, no question.
So I just wanted to get your assessment, kind of where we're at this point. It's it's been a while since I talked to you, and it has made some progress since we talked previous.
So if we're wondering why it's kind of struggling here, the last workshop that I did, folks, I shared with subscribers 3 of Tom DeMarc's system out here: TD setup, TD combo, TD sequential. One of the things that we didn't get to during that workshop, Brent, were some of his support and resistance line. I actually have them painted in on my screen right now for Noble Corp on the daily basis, and they show up as these dashed green lines. Now, many people might think that might be support. It's actually resistance. I kind of use that as a resistance zone. Doesn't matter what color you paint them. Mine just happen to be green. And they really start, in essence, at the beginning of where you get that TD9 count going. And you can see we have two, and these only basically remain in place for about 55 trading sessions out here, but they can really act as great invisible levels. Of course, they're visible to subscribers and myself, and now you, as we're taking a look at Noble, because if we take a look at where price has stopped, it has stopped up at that resistance zone. That's what's containing price out here. Does that mean that that price turns back? No, I think your read that getting up into resistance and then pulling back with light volume is an excellent way to take a look at it. But this says you're up against that resistance. You're also up against resistance a little bit higher than that if we take a look at our TAS profiles at 678 out there. Once you clear that, then what you do inside Noble Corp is probably set up an A to B equals CD. Or better yet, you start heading back to the swing points cluster area from back in June out here in the 9-ish range out there. So that's what it's doing right now. That's kind of my take. And the other thing, folks, is that where did I put it? What Brent was able to identify as this was moving lower, it was also moving lower with less relative energy. The same chart that you and I looked at, in gold as an example on different time frames out here, but it was moving lower, doing less relative energy, had that nice bullish reversal, got above that oscillator on change line. It's giving you everything. How far will you let this pull back?
Oh, I'm in at 520, so I don't want to take a loss, but I'm going to pretty much just keep it at this point. I'm far enough off of where I bought it that, I might put it at I think I have it right now at 550 or something like that.
Okay.
So
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, and the only reason I ask is because oftentimes it's an important question. We don't, I don't often ask when somebody's in a trade. Hey, where are you willing to let this thing pull back to? Certainly, in the case of Noble Corp, ideally you say 550 and 548 is the bottom of its daily market profile. That's the reason why I threw it out there. Was say, hey, okay, you're saying 550. Is there anything I can identify for you? So you got 548 as the bottom of its box, and then the oscillator and change line is at 578. So, just kind of keep those levels in mind out here. Don't know that it's really going to pull back to that area, but you certainly are up against a fairly stiff area of resistance, but no reason to not stay in the trade. Like you say, you're in at a good price point.
All right, Steve. Well, I'm glad that you're doing well, and just have a great weekend as much as you can, and I'll plan on talking to you soon, okay? And thank you for the help.
That sounds so much. That sounds great. Thanks so much, and thanks for calling in. That was Brent in Martinez, California. That was Noble Corp. He also got into the trade. I didn't ask him, should have, but he also got into the trade here on RIG, Transocean. And if I take a look at that, I'll throw that up on my other screen. Well, this happens to be a weekly chart out here. We can see that it's also up against some resistance. Let me put this back to the daily time frame here so that you can see it. You'll more clearly see the TAS market profiles. I take that back. On the weekly, it was really up against that. And so it looks like it's already done. It's already pulled back. Yeah, this came back to the breakout area. So in the case of RIG, this thing really broke out. That was your first sign off of the bottom with conviction, which was September 28th, folks. 42 million shares the upside. Price pulls back into that area. Not to the bottom of it, but pulls back with 21 million shares. So it looks like Rigatoni out here has now formed the C point of an A to B equals CD to the upside. Now, we'll know if that's going to come to fruition when it can get through resistance at 1069. But if it does that, add another $1 to that price projection of 1169. That's your 1-to-1 A to B equals CD to the upside out here. Support on this, 974 would be a good support level. You're trading about, 1020 or so right now. So as long as it stays above 974, that those patterns really remain in effect out there. I don't know if Brent's still in RIG, but if he is, then that one is for you and anybody else that's inside that trade. Okay, so we took a look at gold. We kind of took care of that. Light Sweet Crew, we mentioned that. Everything looks still pretty good there. Oh, natural gas. Somebody asked about you take a look at UNG. So let's do both out here, because really in order to trade UNG, you've got to pay attention to what's going on in the current contract for natural gas. But if we take a look at the ETF for nat gas, UNG, you can see a nice day today with volume behind that move, 8.2 million shares, taking out a swing point with 6 million shares as long as price closes above 902. What happens if you close below 902, the most recent and bearish swing point out there? Well, because you're coming into it with volume, says you'll get back up to 902 again. What was that show, 90210 or something like that? I think, is that since Brent was calling from or was it 8021? I didn't watch those shows either, and why did I even bring that up? I don't know. But back to UNG out here. This could be, you get a combination of patterns, right? Either have a sideways consolidation, you'll end up with about the same price projection. But here's, in essence, is you really see it more inside nat gas contract out here, but and I'll pull that up. But you either have a sideways move that gives you a sideways measured move price projection, and inside of UNG out here, it was 902. Oh, thank you, Duffy. Okay. 90201 or something like that. And if we take a look at this, would say UNG about 996. Could easily be an A to B equals CD to the upside as well, because you are taking out a swing point, doing it with volume out there, and that gives us a price projection. It's going to be similar. 939, 971, and 1012. When we get back to this break, let's look at the natural gas contract and anything else that you'd like in the remaining 4 minutes of the show. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Be right back, folks.
If you're looking to discover a new financial resource and diversify your financial portfolio, consider the new market-safe focused commodity CD from Everbank. This 5-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 6 equally weighted commodities, including gold, silver, copper, nickel, soybeans, and sugar, in one powerful CD. With annual pricing caps of 50% per component, you could earn up to a 50% upside payment at maturity if the commodities increase in value across annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. Take advantage of this financial resource designed to grow with the times. The October 13th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So hurry over to everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
It's 2016 and TFNN has a brand new programming lineup to kick things off. Starting January 4th, Swim Lessons by Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade will be airing 5 days a week at noon Eastern Time. Join hosts Scott Connor, Kevin Hinks, and Cindy Faber as they host their daily options program live at noon 5 days a week with no commercials for the entire hour. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark will be moving their program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, to twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake up with Nico and Paige and start your day off right. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex will now be live Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Start and end the week with the 3 hosts, Tom O'Brien, Tommy O'Brien, and Daryl Martin, as they break down the world of trading binary options and spreads. For all the details on the new 2016 programming lineup, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Join David White as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. So really to finish off the UNG in essence, and what I said was it's just, for me, it's much clearer by taking a look at the underlying instrument. And here we can clearly see the so-called consolidation pattern, right? We can't really call it a double top. We can now, because it was a consolidation pattern. Double top says you've got to be able to break through that swing point, the most recent swing point for sure, to the upside or the downside out here. But nonetheless, it becomes the consolidation pattern. That's the yellow rectangular box that's on my screen. So closing above a weekly task market profile, and these profiles are more important than the ones on UNG. This says you've got that measured move, right? So either the A to B equals CD to the upside. In the case of natural gas out there, that's going to give us a price projection out here of about 343. That's your 1-to-1 out here. But really, this is what kicks in. What really kicks in here is going to be that break of the consolidation pattern. And so the real price move over time, if this is a real breakout here, and there's no reason to think that it's not, gets you up on that measured move into the 360 type level out here. So if you're in UNG, depending on where you're in, that looks like a marvelous trade out there, Marvy, as they say. Okay, I already gave you the parameters to watch, and it's the end of the day that's important. We've seen a nice bounce out here. That was not to be unanticipated, right? Because we knew what price was doing when we looked at those 5-hour charts, when we took a look at those profiles out here, when we took a look at some trend lines. We knew exactly what the markets were doing. You and I knew exactly what the market was doing in relationship to the strong dog out here, which had made that seventh wave move to the downside. So we knew that was also an important support point. And we also knew that the VIX index was important for you and I to watch in relationship to that 50-day exponential moving average, right? We were trading basically on it. Now you're trading basically underneath it. 1375 might have been the number. Now it's 1374, right? These are going to change by, a penny or two either way. Now you're trading at 1345 out here. So can you continue to trade below that? Bodes well for the sideways-ish market. Not necessarily the bullish, although it is bullish to sideways. In this case here, I'm going to say sideways. It does look to me, and I'm not Dr. Doom, but it does look like to me sooner than later we're going to see the flush down the proverbial, you know what I mean, inside the markets. Now, it's going to be a flush that probably lasts for 30 days or so. Yeah, depending on when it happens. But I'm going with 30 calendar days or so. So that is, it's almost right now for me, it's not a matter of if, it's simply a matter of when. But that when is not today, not likely today. But you break below those levels that you and I talked about, and we will just simply zip that up and say, aha. It actually was today. It was just disguising itself, trying to think that nobody was looking out there. But right now, the information that you and I have, clear, convincing, it's not today. It might be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It probably is a day next week. I just don't have that day nailed down yet. I think I know what to look for. No different than what you and I were looking for here intraday to figure out what's the market doing. So, folks, I want you to have a great weekend. Hey, send out the white light for everybody that is still in the path of Hurricane Matthew out there. And what a great weekend to come on over to the homepage of TFNN.com. Sign up for my newsletter service for $49. Get 4 hours of extraordinary, 5 hours actually, of extraordinary education out there. And have a great weekend. That's all I've got to say. Hey, stay tuned. I've got one more thing to say. Stay tuned for an extraordinary show put on by our man, David White, our favorite polar bear. And then, of course, the leader of the pack, Tom O'Brien from 3 to 5. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll see you on Monday.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.